So here we are, the video about Bethells Beach. I will try to get as much as I can out of that short walk I had there, but hey, views are still great, am I right? Let's start with the basics. Bethells Beach is also known as Tehanga in Maori, and right away sorry if I pronounce Maori words wrong. It is a captivating beach situated within the Waitakere Ranges on Auckland's majestic west coast. Some 45-minute drive from central Auckland and you're in this coastal heaven. As one of the 4 cherished beaches along Auckland's west coast, alongside Piha, Muriwai and Karikari, Bethells Beach presents awe-inspiring natural beauty to its visitors. So breathtaking in fact, that it has graced the screens of several notable projects, among which are Children of Fire Mountain miniseries, music videos for Shania Twain's single Forever and For Always, Taylor Swift's Out of the Woods, and K-pop singer Taeyeon's I. The New Adventures of Black Beauty TV series, American drama series The Wilds, The Man Who Lost His Head comedy drama, battle scenes for the movie Avalon High, the end scenes of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Sword of Destiny film, and of course our beloved Xena Warrior Princess, Hercules Legendary Journeys, and Young Hercules. Bethells Beach is washed by the Tasman Sea and is wild and magnificent. The waves are also pretty strong, and the beach is popular with surfers. Other than a lifeguard hut at one end, it is perfect for a filming location because there is no human development here at all. The black sand is very fine and heavy due to its iron ore content. Its color causes it to get very hot in the sun. Somehow the dark color had never been something I really noticed when watching the shows. Also, the sand for some reason has an interesting two-tone effect, and depending on the light you can see a little glistening. Strange, but very pretty. It's probably something to do with the sand being volcanic residue and also related to high iron content. When I came back to the hotel, I found that I had a lot of sand in my shoes. And by a lot, I mean a lot. So what a crazy fan like me would do? Right, collect it and bring it home. So now I have this jar of sand and I even did a tag for it. Pretty! And also this pendant, which I gave to my mom. I think it also looks quite nice. The beach has been used in so many scenes that it will take quite some time to figure out the whole list of them all. But I will mention some episodes in which this location was used, mostly from Xena, show the specific scenes and how the filmed places look like now, depending on how I captured them on my camera, of course. Some views might be shown several times, as some locations have been used for multiple episodes and different angles. Going from the car park to the beach, we have the Waitakere River flowing just to the right. The river was extensively featured in the Hercules episode 2 Men and a Baby. For example, we see it when Nemesis was pursued by Ares' troops, and it is on this river where Hercules and Iolaus had their little camp in the same episode. As we approach the beach, we come on a little lifeguard lookout post. About here is where Caesar paid Xena his ransom in Destiny. Behind Xena you can see the distinctive profile of the rock hill, which is actually called Ihumoana Island. Turning left, we see the classic profile of the Pukekawai Point, which is distinctive rock formation at the end. This vista has been seen in a lot of episodes and I think is the best known view in the franchise. Now, let's jump around the beach and see where and what was filmed. One of the most notable moments filmed here is Caesar's crucifixion of Xena in Destiny. Here is almost the same view when Caesar built his line of crosses on the beach. The filming was about halfway up the beach, but they used a crane for the camera. And one more interesting fact, there is the lifeguard post in the scene. In fact, every scene taken from this angle in any episode has that lifeguard post in the background. Another notable moment from the show is Eve's baptism in Motherhood. There is, or at least was, a private walk track somewhere that was used for filming. Also near the track, they filmed that moment during Eve's baptism with gods shooting their fireballs. And the final scene of the episode had an overview of the beach. It was shot in the evening, and I was there in the morning. And somewhere out there is the place where Xena and Gabriel stood during the ending shot of Motherhood. By the way, that private track mentioned earlier was also used in Ulysses. In the beginning of the episode, when Xena and Gabriel are walking towards the beach, they go through some bushes and come into the track. Also, we can't forget the final scene of the Bittersweet, when Xena and Gabriel are lying in the waves of fresh, cold water. At the south end, you can see the rock that still looks just like it does on the shows. And if you look at its side, you can see the cave that Callisto used as a camp in Return of Callisto. Though no shooting, as far as I know, took place inside the cave. The only scenes that appear to have been shot inside the cave were actually with Iolaus and Thera in the apple. Nowadays you can go inside the cave apparently, but it was high tide when I was there, so I wasn't able to do that. The scene in Return of Callisto, where Callisto and Xena raced out of the cave in chariots, was taken when the tide was very low, so the crew must have been working like crazy as the low tide doesn't remain for long, and you don't have it every day to continue shooting this scene again later. From the position of the sun, it must have been taken close to the evening. The cave was in another episode as well, and that again is Ulysses. Ulysses, Xena and Gabrielle were walking among the rocks towards the cave. I believe it is possible to follow their steps when the tide is low. In the gully before the Callisto cave is the place where the last fight in the apple took place. And in front of the cave, at the very low tide, is where our heroes disembarked in 10 little warlords. The beach itself was also used for the scene when Gabrielle and Xena walk at the end of the episode and when Xena gets her own body back. When you go to see the Callisto cave, you pass a rock that is also interesting for us. It was used in little problems. For example, this scene was taken at high tide. This one was taken behind the little problem rock at the peninsula. In this scene, look at the background. Xena and Gabrielle are now walking along Bethells Beach. These are the ending scenes of Little Problems. They were shot from the hill used in Miss Amphipolis, which is just behind the Little Problem rock. The peninsula is between them. And here is Gabrielle standing in front of the rock. Speaking of Miss Amphipolis, if you wonder where Xena was practicing, it was on this hill. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to climb it, but it is possible as far as I know. And I think this is also where they filmed Perdiccas' funeral pyre. The scenes of the episode to Helicon and Back combined locations of the sand dunes and sand plateau of Wainamu and Bethells Beach. A lot of screen manipulation has been done. The attack of the Amazons starts on the beach. Here's the place where Gabrielle leads the Amazons into attack. And the castle was put onto the mountain, or rather hill, that comes out onto Bethells Beach with the help of the computer. The return of Varia after being kept prisoner is taken on Bethells Beach as well, with mountains of Wainamu in the background. The place where Xena came out of the water is just in front of the rock mentioned earlier. Another episode worth mentioning is Tsunami. And off to the northern end, there is a bay that looks familiar, but unfortunately my time on the beach was very limited, so I didn't go there. The bay is called Waitakere Bay, and if you cross or just pass the shallow Waitakere River and pass Ihumoana Island, you'll end up in the location where a scene from Return of the Valkyrie was filmed, the one where we see Xena coming out of the water in her white and gold Viking outfit. And that's it for my Xena/Hercules morning. I had a blast and I highly recommend visiting or at least trying to visit Bethells Beach to any fans of the shows who find themselves in Auckland. Even if you don't get to see all the locations up close, just a stroll on the beach is about as close as we can come to a pilgrimage, considering that the shows are not so mainstream now and there are no tours to filming locations like Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit have, for example. And of course, nothing compares to a feeling of immense pleasure you'll get anytime you decide to rewatch the series, when you're able to point at the screen and say, "I've been there." About Savage Memorial, I'm not sure if I'll do a separate video about it since it's only in one episode and there's nothing interesting to tell. Maybe I'll just do a compilation of what I filmed and scenes from the episode. I'll see how it goes. If you watched till the end, thank you very much, I much appreciate it. Stay safe and battle on.